Hello, everyone. Welcome to Doodles Ep.8. I'm your host for the podcast, Sapna Malhotra. Teachers across the globe often talk about attention deficit and disinterest problem in children. We also talk about how every child can learn, every child will learn, but maybe that's not the day, and maybe that's not the way that he wants to learn. Then what is it that holds a child's attention in one teacher's class, but he might lose his attention or focus in another teacher's class? Let's watch a little video clip I have for you here.
3, 2, 1, go!
Wow, wasn't that exciting? If you felt the energy and if you felt the excitement on your screen, I can tell you the energy and the excitement in that room when I was conducting that session for those teachers was many, many folds more. The teachers forgot that they were those 30 or 40-year-olds and they were just like a kid running around trying to learn with all the excitement and enthusiasm. They forgot that they were adults. And we were learning some difficult topics there. We were talking about human organ systems, we were talking about Newton's law of motion. I think, why don't you just imagine another picture where you visualize only children in a room and the one teacher? A teacher who has lived this experience can really create this experience for her children. And the energy in that room would be unimaginable. If you live it, it's easier for you to give it. I think teacher training programs are like those notifications that you get on your phones, that iOS update available, an Android update available, and you immediately update your phones. A teacher training program, a professional development program for teachers is like that notification that we as teachers need to take time to time. Today on Desk Doodles is a guest who has dedicated more than 2 decades of her life to teaching and to training. She spearheaded the program at one of the most prestigious institutes in Bangalore, the TISB Training Academy. I'm so happy today to welcome Miss Elsie Thomas. Welcome to Desk Doodles, Elsie.
Thank you so much, Sapna, and thank you for making this so informal. I was a little worried. Oh my God, should I have my, suit on, or should I have my good dress? Just chill, and I think that's so much easy on me today. Thank you so much.
Oh, most welcome. I think I just love having conversations with thought leaders like you here so that we can just share ideas, we can discuss what is going around, and it's just fun to have guests like you over.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks.
Vice versa. You're a teacher like me, so we have actually shared a lot of experiences. So
Absolutely.
definitely we hope that this will be a very fruitful conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. So before we jump into our conversation, Elsie, why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey?
My journey has been very, very exciting. I started my journey in a slum school in Bombay, which is in the Govandi area. But that was the only school I could get into, is because when during those days, if you had to do your B.Ed, you really needed that 1 year of experience. So I just knew that I wouldn't get anywhere, and I just walked into this school which was there, and I got in. And let me tell you, that was where I really learned a lot, is because I felt they taught me life. Okay,
Yeah,
I could teach them how to spell, I could teach them how to write, but they taught me what life is, and how resilient they were, and how they would jump into situations and would come out victorious.
yeah.
Then I worked in the Larsen and Toubro corporate school because my husband was working with Larsen and Toubro. It was in a small village in Awarpur,
Okay.
in Chandrapur. It's next to Chandrapur. And of course, National Public School happened when I transferred to Bangalore. And 7 years I taught in Indiranagar as a high school teacher.
Okay.
And when you have a corporate husband, you start traveling. So we moved back to Bombay. That's when ever grateful to Mrs. Avnita Beer for allowing me to just grow over there. And I took up the position as a resource person and moved on to be the head of academics. Back to Bangalore again.
Yeah.
And that's when I had the most, what do you call, the fulfilling experience of being one of the person in setting up the TISB Training Academy.
Right.
So that's my journey. Now, at present, I have gone solo
Wow.
and I have set up a small company. I had to set up a company because I had to raise invoices for the training I did.
Right.
So it's been nice. People have been kind enough to give me work. So I'm enjoying. I'm
Wow.
enjoying.
Wow. I think the journey has been wonderful. What an experience, step by step, and unfolding new mysteries and venturing into areas that you hadn't, and now an entrepreneur. So, all the best
Yeah.
with that, Elsie.
Yeah, I know it's an entrepreneur when I sign bills and I have to make invoices. It's really fun, because we've never done that before.
Yes. And I think it's really tough to start on your own. I mean, ask me. So, but I
Yes.
think that conversation for another day. So let's jump into the topic for the day today. That big question that I have for you is, these. How what is the role of a professional training program, professional development program in creating awesome teachers? Because all us teachers want to be categorized as ma'am is awesome, right? Every teacher's dream is when the child is going to say, oh, so and so ma'am is awesome. Or if somebody asks that child, who's your favorite teacher, and every child wants to be there, her name there, right? So what do you think is the role of a professional development program in creating that awesome teacher?
Yeah, you know what, Sapna? Many of them come and ask me, why do we have to teach in a school? Why can't we directly be a teacher? Okay, sorry, a trainer. I say it is just like learning surgery on an online platform. Okay, but if you really want to have great teachers, teachers are always great, as you know.
Yeah.
But in today's world, there is so many things that are happening outside that we need to, what do you call, equip them with the new innovations that are taking place.
Right.
Because as a teacher, we expect them to be focused and we expect them to be productive in the tasks that they're doing daily. Okay. And you and I have been a teacher. We have lesson plans, we have assemblies to train them, we have corrections. They don't get the enough time to delve into new informations and new innovations that are taking place outside. So
Hmm.
when they align themselves or a school aligns themselves to a good training program, here there is a ready-made researched curriculum.
Yeah.
There are facilitators to train you.
Yeah.
They are there to share the experience with you of what they have been researching. And there's a lot of information that is given in a nutshell, something that can work in your classroom. So we eliminate all those things that actually are, glamorous and actually don't have the great outcomes. There are so many methodologies out there we know doesn't work in a regular classroom. So
True.
we channelize that and we give these information to them so that when they go and implement it into the classroom, it's not only effective, it permeates through the whole school where everyone starts speaking the same language, and you see that the standard of the school has been, it's somewhere consistent that
And I
we see.
think in that, I would also like to add that the training programs or the development programs that we talk about could also be in house programs, or they could be outsourced to a trainer. Because I think
Hmm.
if we have a mix of both, then we have more programs and
Yeah,
more options for us to improve
true.
upon, right?
Yes, and actually, it's not all about the training. When they come for training, they think that the facilitator is, this awesome. It's not that. It's the experiences they share there.
True.
the challenges that they, kind of debate, that there are different challenges, there are different failures, there are successes when they debate, when they question, when there's a feedback, when they reflect. All these experiences that happen in that room
Yeah.
is so amazing that, when they go back, they have a clear vision of what practice that they need to implement. So that makes an awesome teacher, is
Yeah.
the sharing and the sharing of experiences, I would say.
Absolutely. And like you said, that, bringing in the new, whether it is, the tech, whether it is a new methodology or a different pedagogy that is being introduced, or it is one of those best practices, whether it is a project based learning or game based learning. So there is so much that is there. And I think training programs play a very big role in bringing that to a teacher's plate, right? And along with that, I also wanted to bring out, Elsie, is that these programs do a lot in helping the teacher kind of discover or rediscover herself, because there are so many things, the latent talents, the hidden talents that are within. And I think training programs kind of create that environment wherein a teacher can, maybe experiment and explore those sides of her, which, sometimes she forgets to use it as a tool in classrooms.
Yes, yes. I think training programs, actually, as a trainer, you should be able to create the non-threatening environment. Okay.
Correct.
Many of the teachers, I always say training programs enable new teachers to
Yeah.
move smoothly and seamlessly into the classroom.
Yeah.
Okay, with greater success, and veteran teachers to arm themselves with the new technology or the new innovations that's happening.
Right.
But somewhere down the line, you don't have everyone. When you see in a classroom, you see the shy ones, you will see the ones who are vocal, you will see teachers who have great ideas but refuse to share. But when they start understanding that this is a non-threatening ground,
Yeah.
this is where we can speak,
Yeah.
this is where we can collaborate, and we are not judging them. So
Ah,
once you enable that as a facilitator, I think it is the best of the best
yeah.
that you can get from there.
No.
So when you introduce yourself and your training or what you're going to do through the day, you have to gain their confidence and they have to believe in what you're going to impart. If
Absolutely. That
that's
is
not there,
exactly, yes, you have nailed it there when you said that a training program makes the teachers who are the participants of that program basically believe in them. And it has happened so many times, Elsie, when I've been conducting these programs for teachers. And at the end of the program, so many of them, believe me, so many would come up and say, Sapna, we really didn't think that I was going to be able to do what you asked for. You said, and I always thought storytelling is not my forte, or standing in front of people to dramatize it. It was her forte, it was never mine, or I'm not creative. And after the program, she said it wasn't really that difficult. And I think that's what the essence of a program is, to make the teachers believe in themselves, because then half the battle is won once they believe in that.
yeah. And they will not refuse to come back to the training center or a training program when
Ah,
they know that you have created that environment.
yes, yes,
So I think it's that non-threatening atmosphere which actually will enable them to, slowly, little by little.
yeah,
Okay, it's not going to happen overnight.
yeah.
I have seen teachers who have come in June and in December they stand up and they, kind of challenge me. Okay, yeah, and I feel happy. I say, oh, yeah,
Yeah,
here there is step by
correct.
step that
Yeah.
person is making progress. And that's actually your victory, when you go to see.
Absolutely.
So
And
that's how it is. Yeah.
yeah, correctly. And I think from there, that's a perfect segue for me to get into something that I wanted to ask you is, we've anyways talked about so many things related to the program, but what do you think are the key ingredients for an effective program? What makes for an effective program?
Uh, One thing I would let I know want to tell you is actually, if you see, all we teacher trainers are self-made. Okay, we never went to a big training institute and got trained. And I feel if you are a teacher and you can have great outcomes and have that kind of a connect with your children, you can be a great trainer.
Yeah.
Okay, so just like how we plan a lesson, just like how we plan for a classroom, the ingredients are the same.
Absolutely.
So, but just in a nutshell, I would say is first of all, whenever you create a program, you can use any methodology of planning your module. I use the UBD methodology, which
Yeah.
is understanding by design. It's because I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah.
You can use any methodology for your module.
Yeah.
But what you have to do is please first peer review your module.
Yeah.
Okay. When you peer review your module, that's where you see there are a lot of gaps. You
Yeah.
can fix those gaps. Then try and pilot your modules.
Yeah.
Okay. Once you pilot your modules, there are more gaps and you fix them. And then that is the process.
Yeah.
But before you start your module, first you have to go and assess the training needs of the class. Now, because I'm
Absolutely.
doing as a trainer, I'm solo. I go and ask the principals, actually, what are you looking for?
Looking for.
And what is the outcome that you need?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, this is not a burgeoning friendship that I'm going to have. It is something I have to be accountable for. So once I assess the needs,
Yeah.
what the principal requires, it is very important to understand the base level of your trainers.
Right.
Okay, trainees.
Teacher.
For example, I just conducted one workshop in one school on a scale of 1 to 10. The teachers had the knowledge 8. It was 8. And one school it was 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm not going to understand the base level of
Yeah.
the teachers, it's either overwhelming or it's underwhelming.
Right.
The program is.
Yeah.
After that, we have to understand is we have to be content focused. Okay.
Absolutely.
We have a great workshop. They will go with a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Lot fun and frolic, and they will all have this great time. But if it's not content focused,
Yeah.
then when they go back to their schools, they will not know what to implement.
So I think that what you said is correct, that you need to have the airtight module for your program.
Yes,
Definitely,
yes,
just like
yes.
you have a lesson plan for your children for the
Correct.
classrooms, it's the
Absolutely.
same way that you
Absolutely.
need to have an airtight curriculum for the the program. But along with that, I think it is very, very important to look at the delivery aspect of that program as well.
Yeah,
Because
that's something.
if you have a module which is bound into a manual, and if it is just going to be sheets
No,
of
no.
paper given to the teacher, so it is very important that the module needs to have a design which is more experiential for the teacher
Yes,
to take back, because I think
yes.
just like a
That's
student learns more when
absolutely.
it's an experience, the teachers also learn it better if then they can recreate
And
it immediately.
yes, and that is why we say that you need to have active learning classroom,
Yes.
which has adult learning methodology.
Methodology.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you need to bring in your case studies, data analysis, real life experiences, and you need to connect theory to practice. Otherwise, the teachers will not know why they are doing it.
Right.
And the best method is modeling.
Yeah.
Okay, we have seen that modeling helps when you talk of lesson plans, when we talk of formative assessments, or for your own gamification. I have seen you modeling it.
Yeah.
Okay, so when they have exemplars in front of them, they
Correct.
have a clear vision of the practice that is there
Yeah.
and what is required for them to do in the classroom.
Absolutely.
And of course,
Absolutely. Yeah.
have questioning. I think questioning is the most important thing is
Most.
when you
Yeah.
elicit answers from them.
Right.
Then it's the normal. You have feedbacks, you have reflective sessions, you
Yes.
have all this
Absolutely.
inbuilt in them. And evaluate your plan. I always say evaluate your own plan, whether it's worked or not.
Yeah.
Please take your feedback seriously. Otherwise, I always say it's dereliction of your duty,
Yes.
because otherwise you will not be able to improve on your own
Yes.
training. So
And
these
in
are the
fact,
few ingredients
yes,
that you
and
require.
I think you used feedback here, which I want to stress a little more upon. So I always feel that, like if you're a sports person or if you're an artist, you always have your guide or your coach who gives you a very constructive feedback, exactly pinpointing the places that you want to improve upon, right? But as a teacher, I feel we do such a huge job, and I don't think there is a foolproof system where we can go for a feedback to improve. And that is where I feel these professional development programs need to play a much more active role in that, because generally feedback is taken as, I think if anybody gives a feedback, a person generally feels a little upset or goes on an offensive or a defensive mode. And I think our programs need to make the teachers equipped or learn how to take and give feedback constructively. That is very important.
Correct. So it's a journey. Again, as I said, I think it's an Indian culture. When we talk of feedback, everyone goes into the state of anxiousness. It's like when I have to give feedback, it's like walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
Okay. So therefore, we need to create a culture in the school first to make them understand that feedback is critiquing, it's positive, and it's not criticizing, which is negative. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
there is a journey. You cannot just say it and you move. So we have a lot of training programs and professional development programs
Yeah,
for it is, and as it is not one time.
yeah.
It has to be
A practice.
repeated over and over again. So first, what we do is we send them a pre-reading task. We send them some videos. We ask them to kind of warm up with that. Then when they come to the training center or I visit the training, I talk to them about the nuances of feedbacks,
Yeah,
the strategies of feedback. There are a lot of methods of feedback,
feedback.
okay,
Yeah,
that
that's
are there.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
with, yeah, you
yeah,
talk to them about that. But what actually works is modeling.
yeah.
So you take these teachers and you see a classroom along with them and you give feedback to the teacher and they take down notes,
Right.
okay? Allow them to question you that why did you give them that feedback.
Exactly.
After that, the most important thing is when they start peer watching, they peer visits each other's class. Believe, Sapna, it's very difficult to give feedback to your friend,
Yeah,
okay?
I know.
And we are friends in the staff room and you
Yeah,
know how it.
yes.
So it's step by step. So when they are giving feedback, as trainers, we make our notes
Yeah,
and we ask them, how did you feel? We ask them to reflect on that process.
right.
And then we slowly move away.
Yeah,
We wean off and we ask them to send their notes. Okay. What
yeah,
did you learn from each other? And let me tell you now, learning walks and ghost walks,
yeah.
these are very, very popular in schools. They are doing a lot of these kind of feedbacks where teachers visit in groups, they discuss, sit in groups and
Yeah,
discuss,
yeah.
and there is a conversation and not feedback is one-sided.
One
There
side.
is a
Yeah.
conversation,
I think
and
that is,
slowly,
yeah.
yeah,
A
and slowly,
conversation, I think, is the best way of, getting your points across to
yeah,
each other, not just one way. It has to be a dialogue wherein both parties understand, the
absolutely.
importance of that feedback.
And slowly the whole atmosphere becomes conducive
Yeah,
to giving and taking feedback.
yeah,
Again, it doesn't happen in a day
yeah,
because we take it so personally, right?
yeah,
Okay, she told me this and it hurt me and I worked so hard.
yeah,
But I think over time they realize that yes, this is
yeah.
not threatening their job, we are just allowing them to work a little more efficiently than what they were
Absolutely. And if
doing.
it is a regular practice in schools, if it is a regular way of, doing things every week or every 10 days, something like
Yes.
that, then I think it just kind of settles into the lifestyle of a teacher. And it doesn't become something that happens once in a while and then you get a little, oh my God, today is the day I'm getting a feedback or I'm going to have to give a feedback. So I think it just has to become a way of working along with the whole thing. So, in fact, the other day I was listening to a talk by Bill Gates also, and he was also talking about. So they do something of with their foundation. They work with about 3,000 teachers, and it's called some MET program, which is Measurement of Effective Teaching. And
Okay.
there was something very interesting. What they did was in that program itself, they also had a student survey of teachers along with the feedback and survey observations for teachers. So they asked very simple questions to students about, does your teacher understand when the class has understood the topic or not understood the topic? And maybe a simple question like, does your teacher understand when how you have to correct your mistakes? And
Correct.
then they had simple questions like, does the teacher use more than one tool to teach a topic? So the questions were very, very relevant and very simple for whether the teacher was answering or a student was answering. And he was saying that the results were amazing because the teachers who performed really well in those observations had a very high student outcome. And
outcome.
yeah, because I think it was so much of a reflection upon the whole thing of the teacher.
Yes, I was also listening to Robin Sharma, where he says that, when anything new is introduced, first is anxiety, second, it is a mess, okay? Because everyone is trying to figure out,
Yeah,
and then it becomes a pleasure,
yeah,
okay?
yeah,
You get so used to it. And I think the very fact that all of us are dealing with this pandemic issue, first it was anxious, how will I have online
yeah.
classes and what tools I have to use? And then, it was a mess. Everyone was trying different things. And then now it's a pleasure. All of us have learned the
Yeah,
best, what fits best for us. We are trying
absolutely.
to
And
try
I
to
think,
adopt.
well, if feedbacks and self reflection works so well with whether you're a sports star, I think the way they improve upon their game is more by watching their own videos and looking at themselves, where I can better my skill, or what is it that I'm not doing great, or what I'm doing great. And I think as teachers also, if we had some more stress on those things, I think we can really improve our skills in those
It's
areas.
also very wise to record your own lessons
Yeah.
and kind of reflect on it. Because when you really see yourself there on camera and you say, oh God, did I really say that?
Yeah,
Did I really do that?
correct.
Okay, why didn't I notice that at that time? You kind of go with the flow,
Oh,
right?
yes. Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's the best. And also viewing others' work,
Yeah.
and observing
Yeah.
others and, having a conversation really, really helps,
And I
to
think,
enhance
and
your ability.
correct, and doing it with an open mind when you watch somebody also, watching that person teach, or watching that person, whatever, talk or something, with an mind, an open mind, that I can adopt something from somebody else
Yes,
also, that I'm
yes.
not 100% equipped and I have, more, uh,
Mm, mm.
things that I can take from others, is also really important as such.
I know a leader of the school. She kind of took a class and she asked all of them to critique her. Now, this leader is a stalwart, okay? And none of them could critique her with, they just didn't understand the concept. So the second time when she did it, people thought, okay, this is working, this is
Yeah.
working, so somewhere down the line we need to make them believe, the teachers,
Yeah.
is this is not a threatening kind of an exercise. It is for all of us. It's a journey to learn from each other, but it is changing mindsets and it's not very easy.
It's not
It's going
easy.
to take time.
And I
Yeah.
think, like here, I just want to move on to one another important point that we just touched upon in the beginning, when we said that, I want to ask you, how important do you think it is for a teacher trainer to have been a teacher first?
That's what I told you in the beginning.
Yeah,
It's like learning surgery online.
yeah,
Okay. uh, See, you may have the greatest of degrees, okay, but if you don't have the experience, it's a lost cause.
yeah,
Now, teaching is not all about delivering the lesson. It is, you see children in the staff room, you entering the staff room and feeling shy and asking you, can I come in? Can I not come in? And then you kind of, deal with that situation on the corridors, on the staircase, on the ground. You're training them for assemblies. You're talking to parents who are very, very sensitive. You are not only delivering a lesson, you are correcting their uh, answer sheets. There is a there is so much that goes into a teacher's life.
right.
Okay, so when you are not a teacher and you have learned everything about training, and when you come over here and one teacher will ask you a question, and if you have not experienced that,
Yeah,
you will not be able to answer. You will say, page number 66 of that book, it is written that behavior management, this I should try. But that may not work in the class. And a
absolutely.
teacher will know that, and she will be able to give you more inputs of how to manage that situation. So
Right.
it is very, very important that I feel, it's from
Yeah.
my point of view, that
Absolutely.
unless you don't know your weapons, you will not know how to fight in a battle.
I totally
So
agree. I absolutely, are there. I'm there with you when you say that, because if you've not been in a classroom, I don't think you can really understand what your children need as a teacher standing over there, and how you need to give it to your children. And that experience you need to live if you want to
correct,
be a trainer.
correct,
So there's
right.
something very interesting. I think, I don't know if I told you, I was doing one session at TTA
Yeah,
only, and
yes,
at the end of the second day session, so these two participants came up to me, and they had been in corporate for, I think, more than 10 years then, and they wanted to be teachers now. So they were like, Sapna, I think it's really a tough task, to be a teacher. And I said, yeah, because it's not easy. She says, how will I even handle 30 children who have, 30 different mindsets, and, one is focused, the other is not. How am I going to even handle that? So I think, why don't I just, train to be a trainer instead of being a teacher? I said, I don't think that is possible, because you need to understand what that child, each and every child in your class needs, for you to
exactly.
give that to the teacher.
And year after year, each one is a unique student or unique person. I was listening to this TED talk of Adam Sanchez, and
Mhm.
he is a psychologist, and he writes a lot of books on behavior management. And one day he got this opportunity to go and teach. Okay, this is
Right.
the first time. And he says, I've written everything for a teacher, what she should be doing and what she should not be doing. And I think this is class 3. Okay,
Okay.
he enters and he says, they were baying for his blood. These third standards were paying for his blood. And he was standing there dripping in cold sweat and praying, when will the bell ring?
uh,
And that's when he says he realized that he has written books after book without realizing that he could not even handle a 40-minute class.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And he said, thereafter, I made sure that I would go into a classroom.
yeah.
So I think this is my belief that unless you're not a teacher, you will not be able to answer those questions that those teachers throw
Yeah.
to you.
And also,
You
I
have
think,
to be
as a
consistent.
correct, and as a trainer, you're there, standing there to empower the teachers with certain skills that they are going
Correct.
to use in a classroom. And I think that's a big responsibility on your shoulders as well. So if you have not experienced it, you are not sure what you're giving, and is
Hmm.
it going to work or not. So
Correct.
I think that's where that I think it's important. I think same as if I'm a coach, a football coach, I have to have played that sport to guide my student. And if I'm a painter, I need to know whether the brush strokes are correct, or if the rendering of that sketch needs to be better in which direction. If I don't have a clue, how am I even going to guide that, right?
That is why a trainer's job is not only restricted to the classroom. There has to be follow up,
Yeah,
there has to be mentoring, there has to be coaching,
yeah,
and you have to repeat the cycle again. So,
yeah.
when you repeat the cycle again, there is a sustained program that is running in your class, in your school. So, it is a very important role. It's a very important role that you kind of play in professional development.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. No, I think that kind of really brought out the whole picture, Elsie, and I think we had such an amazing time talking about these small little
Yeah.
things that matter so much, I think, as a teacher. And I think one of the most important things that training programs play is also for teachers to rediscover themselves. I think to look within, because most of the times, you forget to use that tool in classrooms. So I think
Correct. Yeah.
the programs keep you abreast with all that as well, and bringing the new. So
Yes.
what do you want to give to the teachers out there? Some message, something that you want to share with us?
Uh, Teachers are very unique species, I feel. I just love them. I love my journey. I enjoy my peers' classroom. And I feel that we have a very important role in the society. And sadly, many people think that teaching is just another job. It is not. It is not. It's a lot of hard work. And I would always say is attend training programs. They actually add a lot of value to your classroom and to your children, and allow yourself to kind of learn more, research more, and be open to ideas, and just go with the flow and be happy. I think enjoy your children. I can always say is just enjoy your children. They are there for 1 year. Connect with them because you may make a difference in their lives.
Absolutely.
That, yeah.
So true, because I think your words resonated. I think every teacher's feeling, because every teacher's, like I said in the beginning also, every teacher's desire is to be remembered by her student, and it's been so many years that I left school teaching, and still when in a mall or anywhere in a restaurant, when some little kid who I had taught in kindergarten is now like, in a 10th grade, and those children come up and say, ma'am, so nice to see you, and you're like, it just warms up your heart that the children remember you. And I think teacher training programs have that role to play in your lives as a teacher, to bring that awesomeness to your training programs and to make that difference to a child's life. Because I think as teachers, we do one of the most difficult tasks in the world. And I think taking up that notification of enrolling for a teacher training program, I think is what is going to make you awesome. So
True.
thank you so much, Elsie, for joining us, for sharing these wonderful thoughts with us. It was
Thank you
really a
so
delight.
Thank you so much, Sapna. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. It was fun. It was fun talking.
Absolutely. And next time, probably we'll be sitting across the table and
Yeah.
not just the screen.
Sure, sure. Definitely, definitely.
Great.
Probably over a cup of coffee.
Yes. Thank you
Yes.
so much, and all the best with your new venture.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye, everyone. Thank you so much. Thanks.